This is a quick, no-fluff assembly guide for the iiRcade cabinet. The stand and the bar top arcade, which can be used on its own or in conjunction with the stand, come in separate boxes. Let's start with the bar top arcade. Upon opening, you'll notice that everything is packed away in their own separate boxes quite well. The first thing we want to do is throw away the instructions, just kidding, we're going to need those, and take everything out so that we can recycle all of this cardboard and packaging and just get all the elements we need. Don't worry, everything's very well labeled. I got the Dragon's Lair cabinet. Yours may look a little different, but the assembly should be the same. Just pausing to point out how awesome this control deck looks. This is what it should look like once you get rid of all the packaging. I must say, this was very securely packaged. I would be very surprised if anything ever gets damaged in shipping. The instructions have an overview that shows how everything fits together, as well as a very simple step-by-step assembly guide. But for those curious, the first step is attaching a ton of these locking screws to panels 1, 3, 8, and 9. The instructions say to use a Phillips head screwdriver, but I used a drill. If you're gonna use a drill, just go slow to make sure that you don't damage anything. Now we have a bunch of these to fit into holes. If you've ever made IKEA furniture, you've probably seen these before. Just place them in as outlined in the directions, making sure that the arrows on them are pointed towards the corresponding hole. Next, we'll attach the rubber feet to the base of the unit, panel 8. Again, I used my drill, but if you're nervous about that, use a screwdriver. Now we attach panel 7 to the base. Simply line up the holes, press it down, and then take your screwdriver and tighten these. It doesn't take much at all, and it's locked in place. Add panel 9 to the opposite side, and tighten as you did before. Push panel 3 into place, and tighten. Peel off this protective film. I actually had to loosen the speakers a little bit because the film wouldn't come out from beneath it. Now you want to attach it to the side of the cab, and tighten. Next, add piece 6, piece 4. Now it's time to unwrap and add the screen. You can set this plexiglass film aside for now, that comes into play later. The screen attaches in the exact same fashion everything else has up till now. Maybe take a bit of extra care tightening these ones. Now this whole other side panel needs to be attached. It may take some finagling to get the holes lined up correctly. Oh hell yeah, it's getting there. Next on the control board, we actually want to remove these screws that are on either side, and just slide it into place. Now wash your hands so you don't leave fingerprints, and remove the plastic film from both sides of the plexiglass. Now put the plexiglass in place and put the control deck down. I have a bit of a problem showing this because, I only have 2 hands. The control deck and this little lip here keep the plexiglass in place. The control panel screws that you took out earlier go in here. You just have to poke a hole through the tape. All that's left now is to connect all the electronics and put these back panels on. Connect these wires to the speakers, connect this wire right here, and then connect this monitor cable right beside it. Make sure to tighten these. By the way, there's an HDMI out here if you ever want to connect it to, an external television or something. The 2 remaining back panels slide in and attach with some screws. And that's it. This took me an hour and a half. I imagine it would have taken about an hour to assemble if I wasn't recording the whole time. Before moving on to the stand, now's a good time to plug it in and just make sure it works, just in case. And, maybe walk your dog. The stand comes with its own assembly manual, and I was going to walk you guys through it, but honestly, it's very much the same process, except it's easier because there's no electronics. Assembly was super simple. It took me about half an hour. Here it is assembled. It's pretty dang slick. It even has some holes for the feet of the bar top to fit inside of. iiRcade took great care to make sure that the graphics line up nice once they're attached. One thing I will say is I had to take the back panel of the bar top off to make sure that the bar top is securely connected to the rest of it.
And there you have it. It took some time for the games to install, and then I invited my brother and nephew over to play, and we absolutely loved it.
Make sure to follow me for more information on the iiRcade and other arcade cabinets, and check out my full review of the iiRcade on my channel.